Elevate position ourselves to be the white knight of the underserved credit market. So there, in the US and the UK, there's a huge proportion of the market of consumers who don't have access to prime credit, and they have been treated relatively badly by providers of subprime credit until recently. And we entered the UK market in around 2013, and in the US market before that, to give a much better service to these consumers who desperately need it and don't have anywhere else to go. So we have about 200,000 customers in the UK at any given point, and we have 2 million worldwide. Yeah. So our team serves marketing, product, finance, legal, compliance, and also what our underlying data warehouse also serves as our credit risk team and our operations teams as well, who rely on the data in there for the work they do. Our finance data is fed into consolidation to our US parent company who are listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So Avora have taken over our BI as a service. So previously we had to look after ELT, the data warehouse, and our reporting. Avora now look after that from an end-to-end process, extracting data from our source systems, doing the transformations, data warehousing for us, and doing our BAU reporting. Previously, that's what we spent most of our time doing. 80% of my analysts and BI developers' time was spent making sure the BAU ran, didn't fall over, and was accurate. Now, my analysts spend most of their time actually focusing on new bits of insight, ad hoc requests, and building new reports for people. It's something that I firmly believe that getting a human to do repetitive tasks like making sure the data runs every day, making sure that jobs don't fail, making sure the same reporting is there, that's not a valuable task for a human to do. It's not rewarding for them. It's much better for them to be doing new and creative things that actually enable our business in further ways and allow what becomes the BAU to be run automatically and without human intervention. Yeah. So one of the great things about Avora, so we've recently moved to a new product that Avora offer, which is called anomaly detection. We have a number of KPIs that we need to keep in really good tracking of to ensure that our business hasn't had a technical failure or an underwriting failure or another kind of problem. So typically some of these include our approval rate for loans, our funding rate for loans, and whether we do all of our regulatory reporting that we need to do. So what this can be is a trend in Avora with automatic anomaly detection. So let's say our approval rate dropped dramatically overnight. That would be automatically detected by this system, and the relevant colleagues would be notified to do something about it, rather than finding out about it much further into the future where we've lost money and potentially had risk. Yeah, absolutely. So I've worked in businesses where you wait till the end of the month to get your new data, and it's just, you cannot run your business in an agile enough way without data that fresh. Your competitors will be moving to daily, hourly, or even more fresh data than that to run their business, and you will become disadvantaged without doing that. So one of the great things about Avora is using technology like Snowflake, which is so scalable and powerful that you can run your processes, which used to take the whole day, in minutes. Okay, so one of the great things about Avora is the way that it enables us to have a data warehouse, ELT, reporting, and up to hundreds of users using the system at any given point. So one of the things we were looking at before we found Avora is, well, we'd have to buy an ELT system, we'd have to buy a data warehouse, we'd have to buy a reporting solution, we'd have to have many users on the reporting solution, which would no doubt charge per user if it's a pure reporting solution. It becomes very costly. Then we'd also have to have 2 data engineers to look after these processes. Why 2? Because if you don't have 2, you have no redundancy if one leaves. So the total cost of ownership there is actually very high, and what we found with Avora is, as a service, the total cost of ownership is probably half or less of doing it ourselves. So we have a number of affiliates and also colleagues in the US who need to have access to our data. and regulators. So we have our debt funder, and we also provide data to the FCA occasionally. So these are all different external parties that we need to provide data to. Avora gives us such a high number of users, we can add as many users as we want worldwide without it limiting us. We can also schedule reports for our affiliates and external parties that need these data sources. So my advice to anyone who's using their data engineers and their analysts to run their BAU reporting, and that's what they spend most of their time doing, that work, for someone who's ambitious, for someone who's creative, who wants to do great things in their career in data, that's not going to stimulate them. That will be an interesting learning point for them for a maximum of 6 months, and if they don't get the chance to do something better, they will probably leave you. So if you want to maintain your best people in data, you want to automate this BAU, you want to automate ELT and reporting for BAU purposes, you want them to be focused on doing new insight, new models, new reports.